What is up, guys? Mcdoubles back again with a brand new video, and today we're gonna get on Project Ascension Season 8, and we are going to be knocking out a brand new tank build. We actually saw this a few videos ago. Somebody else was playing it. It was so unique and so interesting that I knew I had to try it myself. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's jump right in. Okay, guys, we're on our tank ult right now. Before we start the video, let me just say, like and sub if you like the content, of course. Consider becoming a member on the channel as well. We have emotes, we have special Discord privileges, we have all sorts of stuff, and it's only $1.99 to be a little Mick bro and join the channel. It helps me a lot. And finally, I'm just gonna make like a quick passing comment here. I released my last video, which was a retail video, and it was doing perfectly fine. Obviously, right now, I'm looking at my analytics on each video a lot because Ascension has a bit of a downturn going on for it right now, which is hurting me, so I'm trying to branch off a bit so I can do some different stuff and not die. And so what ended up happening is I'm looking at this video, it had 4,000 views on it, and then I checked it an hour later, guys, and it didn't. I lost 3,000 views out of thin air. How that's even possible, I couldn't tell you. Then to double check to make sure I wasn't crazy, I clicked on the video. The clicked on video had more views than my analytics. In case you don't know, if you've never attempted YouTube before, typically you see higher views than your viewers see because you have it in more real time than they do. So for it to be backwards at all, and for me to know I lost 3,000 or 4,000 views for some reason on that video, I'm sussed out. I'm actually super sussed out. I'm so paranoid, I actually wonder if I'm shadow banned, like if I witnessed some fuckery going on that I wasn't supposed to see. So I'm like talking with support, and they're giving me the runaround right now. Go check out that video if you didn't already, though. It was actually a pretty good video. With all of that out of the way, guys, we are on our tank. And like I said, we're going to be making a brand new tank guy utilizing an awesome enchant and trying this build out for ourselves that we saw in a Skolo a couple videos ago. And that, my friends, is a growing light tank build. Just so you know, this was entirely balanced around being a healer. So if we can make this work as a tank, that's definitely not intended, and that's what makes it interesting. Now you might be saying to yourself, come on Mcdoubles, how the hell are you going to make that work? Just go play Champion of Justice or Dark Surgeon if you really want to be a melee healer. But I don't want to be a melee healer. I want to be a healing tank. Now Growing Light says when you cast your Beacon of Light spell, which if you don't know, if you've never played Pally before, it's basically you put it on somebody and you heal someone else, and the guy you put the beacon on gets healed for the same amount or a percentage of that amount as the original person that you healed. So it's a way to get like multiple single target heals off on different targets. So when I cast that Beacon of Light, Holy Light radiates outward, healing up to 3 friendly targets within 8 yards of the beacon for an additional 20%. It also infuses me with Growing Light, increasing the healing transfer to your Beacon of Light by 20% more up to 60% because it stacks 3 times. It also says casting Holy Light on your Beacon of Light also extends the duration of the beacon by 10 seconds and reduces the target's physical damage taken by 10% for 10 seconds as well. And I think that's really interesting, especially if I can put that physical damage reduction on myself. So you might be saying, how the hell are you going to make this work? Well, I'm going to be using this, which we've made a tank for in the past, but never in this way, Light of the Guardian. I remember when this first came out, it was such a good little baby enchant when it came out. It's even better with Growing Light, though, I think. This says you need Holy Light and you have to be a Righteous Fury tank. Okay, I think I could still make that work. It says, transform your Holy Light into Light of the Guardian. So everything in that last enchant we read that worked with Holy Light should work with this new spell. It says Light of the Guardian becomes usable after dodging, parrying, or blocking an attack. I think we'll go 2H parry. We will see. Light of the Guardian heals a friendly target and damages enemy targets near the caster for 70% of the amount healed as high threat damage shared between all enemies within 8 yards. Okay, this is going to be interesting, I think. So we still obviously need a prestige. I'm on my ghostly tank right now, and I've only got 1 tank spec for my tank character. I've got plenty for my other ones, so it's kind of a bummer, but this is a really cool spec. We're going to go to org, though, and reset this guy, prestige him off, and get our cards ready for the Growing Light tank.
1 hour later.
Okay, so I had a bit of a weird preliminary journey that we're just not even going to go over, but I'm starting at level 33, and we're going to be going on with Consecration starting off with the Light of the Guardian, so Holy Light, Divine Protection carded and acquired, and I'll go over more cards in a bit. Oh, we just got Earth Totem Mastery. I'll definitely take that for maybe Stone Skin Totem. When else are you going to get use out of that, right? Now, as we progress, I'll go ahead and say I have the Beacon of Light guaranteed, combat readiness as well. Okay, there we go. I took Hammer of the Righteous in case we don't want to do a 2H parry route, but I might just pass on that. I really didn't have any better golden skill cards to even try. Like, Divine Storm is maybe a thing, but... So we did Lucky Card it, but I don't have a normal golden Divine Storm, so I have to rely on this. Tremor Totem, Blessing of Sank, Vigilance, just normal tank stuff. Holy Nova in case I Pious Strikes, you might have seen already back there. And as you know, to get this Light of the Guardian proc off, I need to parry. So we have a proc right here. Boom. You can see I just healed for a lot. Hit everybody as well. Here's one right there. 430 is what I just healed myself for, by the way. Here it is, one right here. 426. So it's already healing for like way too much, which is a good thing. Right here we have it again. There's, I think, another 437 right there, something like that. And we're already level 36, which is nice. Okay, let's see. What do we got? That's a skill card. So combat readiness. I'll guarantee that and take it. Having ways to reduce damage taken makes perfect sense, obviously, for being a tank. And we have that Divine Protection, which once again, hell, maybe you guys were right. Maybe I did sleep on Divine Protection. I stand by why it's not the best legendary I could have got, but hey, I've used it twice now in 2 videos. That has to be pretty good. All right, more Wailing Caverns. I'll take it. Now, what I'm playing with right now is obviously not enough. I just want to say. So I am using Consecration Emanate, so you can see the Consecration follows me, and that helps. But I need something else. Something spammable, right? It could be T-Clap or something like that, but Light of the Guardian's proc-centric, and so it's not super reliable until I'm actually taking damage. In other words, I'm a little afraid I'm going to have threat problems, but 0 survivability problems, and so I've got to build around that. Here's another proc, by the way, a 435 right there, and it hurts everybody as well. The damage is split. But yeah, guys, the more I play this, the more I think 2H parry might not be the endgame goal, because Pious Strikes, which if you don't remember, I'll just say it right now, throws out a Holy Nova on everybody just by using Hammer of the Righteous, but Hammer of the Righteous requires a 1H weapon. So I do have an Iron Foe in my bags. I could use that with a shield, and I think it'll play into the theme even more because I'm actually going to be healing people both with this new Light of the Guardian spell, but also with the Hammer of Righteous and the Holy Nova proc. What do we get, by the way? Heroic Strike, Riposte, Explosive Trap. Okay, I guess Heroic Strike. It's extra threat. We can bind it to everything. We don't use Rage, so... Okay, level 40, and looks like we're done. Okay, I'll definitely take that. Let's see what ability. We get 42 at the end of that dungeon, actually, which is really nice. Okay, Cure Poison, Strength of the Earth Totem, Blessing of Sank. I'll take that. And we also get Manatite Totem, Shadow Form, Bloodthirst. All pretty much not great. I'll take the Totem, though. We should have 0 mana problems between Blessing of Sank and Manatite Totem. Okay, honestly, RFC is my favorite dungeon right now to do between levels 1 and 59, and that's because of my little pull that I do now. So we'll get up there in a moment. I'll horn the entire room, and I'll show you guys once again. This dungeon's already easy, but it makes the dungeon even easier, which I'll definitely take. You know, Ascension's in a place right now where the only way to play it is basically super fast all the time. As a result of that, you don't really get to play anymore. You know, in the old days when I would do leveling journeys, you got to play. Now you don't really play. You just get to 60, right? Okay, before I keep talking, let's just do this pull. Let's see if these guys do it right with me. So I horn about right here. I run all the way back. You can see I pulled everything. I jump right here, which LOS is all of the casters. And as everybody runs to me, they run into my AoE. And everything's peachy keen in that regard. Let's just put a Manatide Totem down. Put down Stone Skin as well. Everything's already basically going to die. But you can see with the Consecration there. Yeah, I mean... It was perfect, to be honest with you. I am also currently unkillable, by the way. 525 Light of the Guardian heals. It's not a joke. And that's currently where I'm at. So I'm going to go this way first because I want to see if a World Forge enchant drops that I've been going for a while. It's the Fiery Cleave. And yeah, we'll see if we can get it. It'd be nice. You have to kill the boss up here that most people skip. So I do have a Stone Skin Totem up over there, which is nice and helping me. And we're Light of the Guardian still. Okay, does he drop it? Doesn't mean I'll win, but will you drop it? Of course not. Ascension decided to troll everybody, and I've noticed this. Everybody that drops a Mystic Scroll also has a chance to drop a garbage Mystic Scroll that's completely irrelevant to what you're farming, just to get you excited, you know what I mean? All right, we have a Light of the Guardian proc right there, so that's a 542. I'm just looking for those procs right now, because as we get to max, I will reduce the cooldown somehow. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure we've done something similar before, but even if we can't, that's not even the big deal. The real thing is that when you get to max, you're going to parry and dodge more, and because of that, and possibly block, we're going to get more Light of the Guardian procs in a way that I can't really do. And that's what I was getting at before that pull. I have all these cool spells, right? And so many different mechanics I want to explore. And we will, but only at level 60. Okay, combat readiness. Horn everything. Light of the Guardian proc right there. Emanate. Now, Emanate doesn't just make Consecration move with me. It also gives me like 3% reduced damage taken or something like that. So there's a lot of synergy here. Once again, taking Righteous Fury also is reducing damage I take. There's a lot of ways to reduce damage I take baseline with a lot of the 2H parry tank ways of playing. And once again, even if we go block, you still want to stack as much mitigation as you could possibly get your hands on, making it pretty good no matter what kind of tank you play. Except maybe MFB, because I don't know much about MFB tanks. Oh my god. Look at all that healing. Okay, what do we get right here? We have Glaive Toss, Bloodthirst, Levitate. Garbage. Levitate, I I guess. At least it's fun. There's another proc right there. Oh, it didn't hit everybody, but it did 373. That's the first time I've really paid attention to the damage it did yet. So it looks like when it's one target, it's like a 400 almost. It's important to keep in mind it says 70% of the amount healed as high threat damage is what happens. It's a really weird spell, to be honest with you, but I think that's what makes it fun as well. There we go. We completed the dungeon, level 45, and dead mines. Okay. Okay, what else do we got? Vigilance right there. I'll take that. Shield block. I actually don't have Holy Shield or anything like that guaranteed right now, which is a big F, but that was because I didn't know if I was going to go with the shield. Fact of the matter is, maybe I should go with the shield if I have an option like that. I can replace the mana tide. Let's just do that just in case. So basically, we don't actually have a real healer in this run. We have a bunch of DPS that queued as healer. It's just I rely on big heals. I actually have a talent that gives me mana back right now if I take a heal. But they're not healing me. They're choosing to blizzard and stuff while I dawdle around with nothing because I'm not getting procs. Yeah, they're just straight up letting me die, dude. I got a proc. It doesn't matter. Look, the healer's using blizzard. Why me? Ascension gods, why do you do this to me? Yes, I know you've been playing retail, and yes, I know things are going kind of slow, so let's just do everything in our power to demotivate you, says the world. Well, thank you, world. I appreciate it. You know why I appreciate it? It could be way worse. Trust me, it could. But all jokes aside, we're almost back. We're going to complete the dead mine soon. And hopefully we can at least get to like 49-ish. We don't have an aura run. It's a long story. Don't worry about it. So we're just relying on XP pots right now. And we get a bunch of, oh my god. Okay, unending breath, I guess. Level 49. That's what I predicted. All right, we're peacing out of that one. Okay, Scarlet Monastery. Graveyard. Okay, massive pull. This is where it's at least fun, right? Consecration, holding everybody on me. Theoretically, a DPS died, though. You know what? Just don't look at that, please. Don't look on the left. But it's okay. It looks like we're actually making this through now. Divine Protection at the very end, I guess, because I'm just a little iffy. Plus, if I gain a level, it resets the cooldown, so you might as well use everything. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure this caster's on me and on nobody else. Okay, boss is dead. That's nice. And yeah, this entire room cleared in one pull. Literally tanking with 2 spells right now. Let's not forget. Bro, I think we just got saved. These last 2 hours, and yes, it actually has been 2 hours right now, have been pretty painful for me on the overall. But this guy, easy healing, he came in here, he healed easy. And he told me he has an aura. And he asked me if I wanted to continue to 60 with him. And of course I do, bro. Yes. All right, what do we get right here? Flash heal. Oh, execution sentence or searing pain. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing holy damage or heals somebody. This culminates in a final burst. I'll take that. It's thematic as hell. I'll definitely take that. Okay, Gnome Ragon. What kind? Executioner 6000. I love it, man. I know a lot of the commentary often in the last few weeks is dogging Ascension. I'm trying to be nice about it all because I love Ascension. But one thing I will say, just to bring some positivity to the forefront, and it needs to be said and it needs to be understood. Changing up Wailing Caverns this season and Gnome Ragon and Oldemon even, so that there's like 3 versions of them and they're shorter with each one than just doing the whole run would have been before. That was such a big quality of life improvement, and whether we end up with a dungeon meta in the future or not, people are going to be happier queuing into those versions than they would queuing into the entire thing. And I'm just going to charge from gnome to leper, get this consecration going, occasionally throw out the proc when I can. It's AoE all the way around me. Petty Betty says the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know if I'm a legend. I'm definitely a man, at least by most people's accounts, and I hope I'm not a myth just yet. Although honestly, I've been around in the scene long enough. I might just be a myth. That might be it. Rest in peace, you know? Okay, Executioner 6000 dead. I have a dude that just PM'd me if I'm the officer of my own guild, which I think he knows who I am. So it's just like, y'all understand raiding is not the only point of a guild, right? Soothe Animal, Frostbolt, Frostshock. Because I do delegate the raiding to other people because they can do all the Discord and the drama and all that garbage and setting up the raid teams and all that. But I'm still the leader, bro. Okay, speaking of Oldemon, we got into one. We have to kill Ironara. I know exactly what to do now. I just want to tell you guys how to do this one in case you get in here, because it really can cause headaches if people don't know which one you're doing. So if you spawn in the middle here, it should tell you you're on Ironara, but in case it doesn't, you at least know where you spawn. What you need to do is go south. You need to go for the scepter that you put right here on this keystone, and that's how you summon what is the last boss of this version of it. Oh my god, dude, we are like barely surviving right here. Oh my god, so many random things are pulled. Okay, we have Divine Protection up. Execution Sentence is up. Combat Readiness is going up because I'm in panic mode. It's better to waste a cooldown than to die, okay, boys? That's something that you should know. If you didn't already, now you do. Okay, so once you go south, the very first scepter you'll see is going to be off this, the Troglodyte boss, Revelosh. The next one is going to be in the Dwarven area, so if you're all Alliance, it's going to be a lot easier because I don't think you have to fight them. Not that they're hard or anything, but still. All right, there we go. The Shaft of Zol. I'll need on that. Hopefully, I'm the only one that does. Okay, approaching the Dwarven bosses up here. Oh, no, they already got pulled. That's not good. Let's get Olaf right here. Let's go up and make sure that little Baylog in the back is on us as well. Always got to make sure you have your eyes on little Baylog. He's a crafty one, you know. Okay, then you just click on one of them. You attach the shaft to the rest of it. Ooh, what do we got? Wrath, Hurricane. Ooh, Execute. No, I just said ooh for like dramatic effect. It's all garbage. Okay, and we'll click on this and summon the last boss. And there we go. Apparently, we're already level 60. Thank you, Easy Healing. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. You made these last dungeons quick, and that makes me feel lucky, to be honest. Okay, what do we get at level 60? Beacon of Light. Exactly what I need. This is where the real fun begins, so let's make it happen. Okay, guys, so we made it to level 60, and I've got a build going. Let me just say first and foremost that this could be better in terms of some of the abilities. Like, the shield block should probably be Holy Shield for sure. And I wish I had something else to use. I feel like I'm missing an ability, whether that's Thunderclap or something else, I don't know. But what we have is playable. And it actually does function properly with the combo that we're going for in a way in which I do think encompasses the point of the tank build. And I'll show you some mythics I did so far just to prove it. But before I do that, let me show you what we have. We have the Victory Rush, which we're going to be using the parry talents that we talked about for as well, so that we can get some heals off. We have the Beacon of Light, which we can put on ourselves and heal ourselves up for a lot with that Light of the Guardian. And we have the Pious Strikes, Hammer of the Righteous as well. Now, these are my enchants. 3% block, which is pretty good. We have Sacred Duty for 10% reduced cooldown because I had an extra slot, so why not? And that's going to be for Divine Protection. Light of the Guardian, Emanating Light, as we talked about. Hasty Hammer of the Righteous. 1 second basically off the cooldown of Hammer of the Righteous. Trying to spam that as much as I can since it's basically all I've got. Guarded by the Light for an extra 1.5 seconds on Divine Protection. More dodge, Growing Light, and then Pious Strikes itself is very thematic, and actually this transmog looks pretty cool. So you can see I did get into Mythics, and I started going right off the bat with that Hammer of the Righteous, and initially I was feeling pretty good, and that actually does extend to the end of it. It doesn't ever feel bad. It just feels like I'm missing something. You know, I just played Fire Tank, I just played 2H Ghost Tank, and now here I am playing Growing Light Tank. What's the perk of Growing Light Tank? Well, I don't take any damage. One thing you'll be seeing right now is the amount of mobs I can pull and not die. And I'm the one doing that work in many ways. Of course, the healer is healing me, but I'm healing me too. And I'm healing myself for quite a lot. With my cooldowns and my self-healing, I simply don't take damage. And it seems like I'm pretty good at making a tank build at this point that does not take damage for what it is, right? And that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's the point as well. So ultimately, what's going down is I'm putting the Beacon of Light on myself, and then what happens is I keep giving 10 more seconds to the duration of it when I heal myself. So you can theoretically put it up one time and keep the same one up the entire dungeon if you are fast enough pull to pull. So essentially, as I use my awesome Light of the Guardian spell on parry or on dodge or on block, what's going to happen is I'm going to get 10% reduced physical damage reduction, and I'm going to start getting a stacking buff that actually allows me to heal myself for even more. The only downside, well, I don't have the Seal of Wisdom, and in hindsight, that's another ability you would want as well. I was hoping to just roll Seal of Vengeance, and I did do like 80 rerolls on this guy, so it wasn't way out of the park to think that that might happen, but it didn't happen. Now I wish at level 1 I just went with the Seal of Wisdom. Like I said, I would have no mana problems, and in fact, I actually think that's probably the second spell that I need, which is the Judgment that comes from it as a spammable. If I had that with everything else, I think this would be perfect because Judgment is also AoE if you talent into it, and that would be the build right there. Of course, not having it just means we had to think outside the box a bit more. Because I heal myself, I don't have very many options to go for though with mana, because one of the big ones I alluded to before, and I'll just show it to you guys real quick, is Spiritual Attunement, where you gain 10% of the amount healed to you as mana, which is pretty good, except for the fact that because I'm always self-healing myself, my healer is not healing me for as big of a heal. They're over-healing a lot more. Now, I'm healing everybody in my party as well. I did notice that during these dungeons, that's extremely good. There's a lot of AoE damage, there's a lot of diseases on the ground in places like Skolo, for example, and having that extra AoE is exceptional, because I know as a healer, especially when you're first making a build, and if you're in Mythics, you're probably not, well, perfectly geared out and perfectly experienced, right? Not necessarily with that build. And it can always be nice to have a little bit of help, that's all I'm saying, and this build definitely does that. So the two Mythics I've tried so far is the Skolomance, which was, you know, a bit dicey. I was just going for Hail Marys, limit testing, trying to pull big, see what happens. It's just a Mythic, and to be honest with you guys, I really hate to say it, but a Mythic on Project Ascension is kind of like a normal. I'm not saying I don't like them and it's badly designed, absolutely not. I actually, that might be the only only thing I like right now in totality is the Mythic and Mythic Plus grind. I think it's fun. I think it's rewarding. I think it can get stale, obviously, but that's why you're supposed to have other things like raiding to do, or if you're a PvP or you just like PvP, BGs, and Arena. And we all know the state of some of that right now, or the state of having multiple builds to play and the diversity of it all, which affects it all. But I know you guys know what I'm talking about. The point is this: Mythics are easy, okay? And so you can get away with quite a lot, which is why I need to do Mythic Plus with this build in order to feel like it's actually worthy of pushing out. Do keep in mind, I am experiencing, as you might be able to see, certain tribulations and trials that you wouldn't have to go through if you built this properly from the start, which is what I'm trying to warn and tell you about. Again, Holy Shield, man, you've got to get your hands on that and you will be so much better off. There's way more synergy. Judgment, get that Seal of Wisdom, fix your mana problems, get more ways to pull, get more AoE potentially with different talents. And if you do those things, you will be really, really well off. But the second dungeon, as I was getting to, was, as you obviously could already see, BRD and Emperor run, and we did that fairly well. A dude pieced out of it. I don't think it was because of anything too bad. We derped out in the beginning, I'll show you right now. I kind of thought, let me just do a social experiment, right? I'm the tank. These guys think that I'm supposed to know what to do. But if I do something blatantly wrong, will they listen to me anyway? Turns out they will. So I thought to myself, let me just not go the normal way. I'm going to take a right. I'm going to jump off the cliff. I'm going to go in the lava. I'm going to start just swimming towards a wall. And it's obvious to anybody, and everyone in that group is smart enough to know it was obvious. And yet, every single person in the party followed me into the lava, across all this way, wasting our time until we hit a wall, and then we just started the dungeon like normal after that. So I think somebody just got sick of it, if I'm honest with you. They didn't leave at that moment, but I can understand why they would have left after. But I just thought it would be an interesting little thing. It's like, oh, I'm the leader. Does that mean I'm the smartest? Well, let's just see what everybody thinks. It turns out most people think that. So let's not abuse it too much, but I thought it was interesting to think about. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I do need to point out some very special bits of this build to make it really make sense, because otherwise you might just think I'm trying to play a shield build that has no other synergies outside of Light of the Guardian, maybe the Victory Rush. Well, we've got Touched by the Light and we've got Divinity, and this is really what brings it all together. Divinity increases all healing effects on me by 12%, reduces my damage by 6% that I take, that is, and increases my healing power by 60% of my stamina. You can take a look over here. I have 183 bonus healing, which is duty butter on like freaking steroids. It's absolutely god-awful, but as we get more stamina, that's going to go up. And by the way, I say it's awful in comparison to an actual healer. For me to just have it, that's not bad, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. But that's not all this actually does. The capstone bonus is what I really like about it. The final rank says, being healed by others reduces the cooldown of Divine Protection by 2 seconds and Holy Shield by 1 second. That's another bit of why Holy Shield's better. Not to mention things like Guarded by the Light. We already have the random enchant, but we're using the talent as well, which increases the duration of Holy Shield by 3 seconds. But then we have another really big deal, a really big part of this build, Touched by the Light. Receiving effective healing from others has a chance to increase your direct healing on yourself by 30% up to 90%. So just getting healed means I'm going to start healing myself for more. So there's some semblance of self-efficiency that you're going for. If you want a tank with self-sufficiency, so your healer can focus more on the people, you know, standing in lava and standing in poison and duty on the ground, and less on you, the tank, the Chad that knows what they're doing and heals themselves. I think it's a really good build to play. And not only that, though, it says when fully stacked, directly healing myself will shroud me in light. While active, taking direct damage will heal me for 30% of the damage taken plus 267. So the crazy thing about this, really, guys, is that I get more ways to self-heal. It just doesn't stop, and I'm getting healing power for being a strength-based tank build, which is also nutty in many ways. So again, without the wisdom, I have mana problems. I'm trying to make up for it right now with Blessing of Sank blocking and stuff like that, but it's fine right now. Another really pivotal talent, Purifying Power, at least for the sake of what I'm doing right now without the Judgment, reducing the mana cost of Holy Wrath and Consecration by 30%, and reducing that cooldown of Holy Wrath by half. So it's only at 15 seconds right now. It also increases the damage, which means more threat. So specifically, it was the prop pally stuff I wanted to show you guys. These two talents down here at the bottom are extremely pivotal for the build. Everything else is block and parry and some conglomeration of reducing damage taken. My overall mitigation looks to be at around almost 70% right now, which is something that I'll definitely take. And I think it's time to just try to find an M+, and see if we can start doing some progression just to test the build out. So I just did a +1 strat, and we bulldozed through it. No routes, no special paving required. We just bulldozed through this crap. I didn't die, and I tanked pulls that should not be tankable. I want to talk a little bit about the strengths of this build after doing this M+ real quick, and also the weakness that I think I've identified as well. Weirdly enough, they're actually the same thing. So let's start with the strengths. Well, if you look at the M+ I was just in, I'm able to take crazy amounts of punishment. There are times during the dungeon where I'm doing maybe somewhere around 20 to 25% of the healing that's being done, period, in the entire party, and the healer, of course, typically has the rest. Now, while 25% might not sound like a big number, you have to understand, for me being a tank, it actually is, and for me being able to not actually give up, and I don't think I do, on any of the other perks of being a tank, in terms of I don't have to give up on mitigation, I don't have to give up on the pull to pull, I have the charge, for example, I have mobility is what I'm trying to get at, and if you have the judgment especially, but even in the current iteration, I don't even have to give up on threat or actually having a spammable, easy to do rotation that is on demand. Like, I'm not going to have 0 rage in the middle of a pull or something like that. I have mana. The mana doesn't go away if I use Sank on large packs, because all the blocks and parries I'm getting on all the little mobs is actually boosting my mana all the way to full. Having the Seal of Wisdom would mean when I'm not in a pull like that, I don't have any downtime or fear, and that's maybe the biggest thing. But I do think you could probably get away with Seal of Vengeance and then just using 2 out of 3 in Judgments of the Wise for the mana there, but that's a whole nother story if we ever had that. But back to the strength, it's just massive amounts of survivability. You're healing for so much, you and your healer are consistently over healing, but nothing's going to waste. You know, you're healing your teammates as well, and I do feel like Strat and Skolo actually do push you. You know, it's like the Dire Maul dungeons don't take any skill. Strat, Skolo actually do have some interesting mechanics that really scare you sometimes, and typically they come down to, we have some disease or some poop on the ground, and if you even think about ignoring this mechanic and not dispelling this or whatever, you're gonna die. So the fact that I can't ignore all that crap is showing the power of the crazy mass healing that we're doing on everybody on top of the heals from the healer itself. Now, on to the actual weakness of the build, which is the same thing as the strength. I have a lot of healing, but the thing is, on certain encounters, maybe like some boss encounters, there is no real perk that I'm getting by doing what I'm doing. In other words, I don't always need to be healing myself or anybody else. Sometimes the healer just has it, and then you end up with something like this, where I did almost no healing at all, and in fact, some random warrior with Divine Storm and Consecrated Strikes actually almost did as much as me. So what you're seeing there is basically every Light of the Guardian I throw out is just over healing like crazy. So you're just seeing some little heals on myself, but I'm mostly over healing there as well because the healer has it all covered. So I don't know if that's going to change much even in the higher keys, because bosses are kind of like simple. There's some bosses with mechanics. Most of them are kind of tank and spank DPS checks. And then mostly it's a trash thing. Of course, like I said, we bulldoze through the trash in here, and I do think pull to pull in Mythic Plus, this is not just an okay build, it's actually an exceptional build. And if I'm honest with you guys, I think the best part about this build is that it was created by one of you, and you shared it with me in a previous video, and now here we are. So it has its weakness. The weakness is the same as the strength. It's like it's good in M+, but probably less good in raids. It's kind of hard to say if less good is even the right wording for it. I just feel like most tank builds can do the mitigating stuff the same way. So you can either break the mitigating stuff to a degree that's way better than all the other tanks are doing, like Mana Forge Barrier did at certain times, or you could just offer something else, like Vampiric Embrace Bleed Heals, or, you know, this, or anything else I've played, really. Frost Tank, just fun, AoE, pull to pull, crazy damage. Who knows what you're giving to them? But you got to bring something to the table, and in this regard, this build definitely does, and I don't think it's anywhere near close to any other kind of melee healer in the way that it plays. I also think it's the best iteration of Light of the Guardian. Growing Light, I don't think this is supposed to interact the way it does. You do feel like a Blood Deathknight, and I feel like if you were in a guild, actually, and you could coordinate with your healers, even though that's a big headache, and you could play easier stuff, so no tank is going to do it, right? But if you were, it's one of those things where you could actually get off crazy amounts of healing on yourself and be much more self-sufficient and allow your healers to devote much more time to other people in the raid, which could be a big deal, and it's something to think about. Now, back to this. We did 3 chests this, thank God, 3.5 minutes left. Do we get any loot? This guy's not horribly geared. You might remember from my last tank video, we actually did get into raids. We picked up some cool stuff that I'm really happy to have, and we're at almost 66 item level, but it's not impossible to get something good here. So let's just select tank for everything, and then we'll take a look at what we get. Okay, Gordok Knuckleband is actually really interesting, and that came out of the tank side. That's so weird. Both of my rings are actually better for this. I actually get to utilize a lot of really good gear from previous videos because we're back to a shield. I have a 4-piece, even though it's bugged and not showing, Deathbone set, which is mostly block value stuff. I've got the Iron Foe, as I said, but it's actually my worst item because it's heroic. Bracers of Might. I really do want the Bracers of Might set. I never did tank back in vanilla. And then we also have Crumb Crush's breastplate and Dragon Blood cape and all sorts of other really cool stuff. What do we get, though? We get Spider Fang Carapace. More interestingly, weirdly statted stuff for the tank side of it all. I'm not saying that's bad, definitely not. I'm just wondering why it came out of the tank option. And I'm actually getting the same vibe with a bone slicing hatchet. Interesting. None of this is tank gear if you think about it. So none of that's actually good for this character, but I can vendor it for almost 10 gold. So yeah, no, there's always a bright side. Okay, I think this is really sick. We've identified how to play it, some weaknesses, some pros, some cons, but what I really want to do is keep testing it out. So let's find something else to tank. Okay, guys, let's just real quick bust out a, well, DM North, apparently. I just randomed it. A quick mythic. Should be super easy. Start with this charge here because somebody's going to mess it up and pull it. So I might as well just, you know, get it done the good old-fashioned way. And we're going to go for a tribute run, go for a fast run here, and just show you guys how the build plays. Look at that healing first and foremost. Okay, 7k. The healer did 18k. So that's actually more than 25%. That's pretty interesting. And this has nothing to do with the quality of the healer, by the way. Like, the build is performing as intended right now. Pull to pull. So essentially, I charge in. I can start getting aggro with Hammer of the Righteous. I got a proc immediately. Are you seeing a difference? When I was leveling, I wasn't getting procs, and I even mentioned that I knew when we got to max, I would be fine in that regard. Here's a bit of a problem I'm having right now, though. I didn't have Blessing of Sank up, and you can see how screwed I am under that parameter. So I'm actually going to pull right here on purpose with shield block, just so I can get my mana up. Now, my team probably thinks I'm a donkey, but I'm doing this very, very intentionally, because, again, if I don't have any mana, well, then they're really going to think I'm bad, aren't they? Now, I haven't even done this yet, but I am excited to show you guys the Beacon of Light synergy, which typically you would have up the whole time, but this is a mythic and it's super easy. I want to do a bigger pull to really showcase it. All right, we're killing off these hyenas. Hammer of the Righteous. I wish I had Judgment. Gotta skip. Okay, I guess we're attacking that. We do have to open the box. Okay, so Beacon of Light's on me right now. I got my proc, and you can already see this, right? 10% physical damage reduction already, and 20% more healing transfer from Beacon of Light. So what that means is when I heal somebody by using Light of the Guardian through the Beacon of Light, they're going to get healed for even more. But the most important part is probably the fact that I get 10% physical damage reduction. A lot of guys are physical, even if some of them are casters. Wow, this is like the biggest fail west of the Philadelphia duplex. I didn't pull this guy, but I guess we have to kill him, and that ruins the tribute run, and they don't even know. We're not in here for gear, not gonna lie. I'm in here just to showcase the build right now. So what I want to do is just pull this. Typically, you can run across that wall and pull nothing in Mythic Plus. Let's pull this with the Beacon of Light, and I want to show that proc again. Do you see how easy that is? One single use of the spell is 10% reduced physical damage reduction. I mean, dude, listen, at the end of the day, if I had Voidwalker right now for 10% more, I mean, you don't take damage with this build. And that's where I'm talking about how I think Growing Light certainly was not intended to be played this way. If it was, that's really interesting. But I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it was meant to be a healer. And this is just a really unique way of making a healer build work as a tank build. And I would have never thought of it. Look at that healing once again. I'm almost at, let's say 30%, 33%. That's just casual, by the way. And that's because, again, I'm not just healing myself. Even though you're consistently seeing me at max, I can even occasionally top myself off with Victory Rush. If anybody else takes damage, I'm healing them as well. And often they don't take that much, and I can top them all. Okay, I guess we kill guard slip kick because we already ruined the tribute. So also, if you just look at my HP, like, I do not lose it. It's not really possible. I'm not even popping cooldowns right now. That needs to be understood. Between the hots of my healer, all of my buffs, my block chance, and the fact that I can then top myself off consistently built into my rotation on a 6-second cooldown. Amazing, dude. That's not even counting the Holy Nova that comes off the Pious Strikes. Okay, boss is dead. More Gallant Wrist Guard. Saw that actually in the last video. Let's see if they accidentally pull this one pack right there. This is a super easy one not to pull, so if they pull it, it tells me something, and none of them pulled it. Okay, they're all good. They passed the test. Congratulations. So I'm just going to charge on this, immediately interrupt it. If you have the interrupt, I highly suggest you just go ahead and let that happen, you know, if you're the tank. Okay, we have the shield block up, popping everything. Okay, this guy's going to get pulled. Can I stun you? I can. Combat readiness, just in case, because this guy, I think he's going to start summoning Voidwalkers in the back. Sadly, I don't have my interrupt, and these guys are... Oh, goodness, please. Why? I'm not going to wipe, right? Like, everyone else will die before I die at this point. I'm that broken. I really do feel that way. But this is certainly a cluster at the moment. But it does tell you something. you can have things go wrong and you can easily recover. At no point during this fight did I actually think that I was going to die. Yes, in my head, I thought, yeah, other people in the party are probably going to die, but not me. Also, one thing I noticed was that my growing light was still up earlier. I just replaced my beacon of light, but I noticed I had the buff as I was replacing it. So just playing the game and resetting that duration, it was working to where I forgot about it, and I still had it up. Remember, 10 more seconds on the duration of beacon of light just by using Light of the Guardian, and crazy synergy off that alone, man. If it didn't do that, this whole build would be so frustrating. It really wouldn't even be worth it. It would still be viable in terms of being playable. It certainly wouldn't be good. Right now, it actually is good. All right, we're approaching the final boss, man. It's almost done. Now, I want to show you all these procs up here. Touched by the Light, proccing growing light twice. We have adaptive defense for 5% reduced damage taken. There's so much right now. We have the redoubt proc, more strength, more reduced damage taken. I'm telling you, Voidwalker would really make this crazy. And there's just so much innate synergy. I just can't get over it. It really was worth playing. Yeah, I just can't get over the fact that I just don't have any fear. And that's like on purpose because I don't really think it's possible for me to die. It just is one of those things where it's like, as long as I play my class at all, I should literally never die. And I wonder if I'm going to ask my healer. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Right after this, I'm going to say, hey, was I hard to heal? Because what if it's all in my head? I don't know. This caster, by the way, seems to just target random people sometimes. Yeah, he just did it right there. There is no aggro problem with Righteous Fury. It's quite good. Now, you can look at the healing once again. We're looking at something once again around 30-ish%, which I'm super happy with. That should remain fairly consistent as well. And nobody's dying. Now, as you might be noticing once again, I'm still not consistently using my cooldowns right now because it's actually irrelevant. That will change in M+, especially when we do huge pulls. So we did that. We showed that with some of even the mythics that we did. But the sustain with this build is just so broken. The innate damage reduction is so broken. It's so powerful. And I do actually think it's better with a shield. You're just capitalizing on being broken with the shield. The shield's just so good. And you could definitely play it 2H parry though. But okay, GG. There we go. That's a DM North real quick, tanking it with a growing light build. And that was actually really fun. Do we get anything? No. But honestly, yeah, we knew that. Okay, so I tried PMing the healer to see if I was any good. The dude's legit drunk, bro. I don't even know what to tell you guys. I'm going to say I did good. So listen up, guys. Growing light tank, I thought it was a lot of fun. But honestly, I think we showcased it. I think it's one of the better tank builds that you could play in M+ right now in terms of being unique and in terms of being good. It's a nice little combo of the two. But before we end the video, let's do the giveaway from the last video. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and pick a winner. And there we go. Happy Ferret. Been farming 2H gear with my bear to join the rank to fun tanks, like a parry tank, right? In-game name, Ilanya. Well, GG, bro. Hope you get the 2H soon so you can join the parry tank army. Let's go ahead and get you some free stuff. All right, guys. I'm thinking mount today, right? Prestigious Werewolf, Risen Mare. What's the coolest one? That's, oh my god. I like how a lot of these rare mounts just look like complete garbage. That's actually a pretty cool one. Or Savage Raptor. Okay, my favorite's the Raptor, so we're going to give away the Savage Raptor, and I'm going to give you this Tome of Spec. And yeah, I think that's actually really expensive and good enough on its own, so the rest is going to be random mogs, right? Whenever you know you get an XD in the mail, you're about to get some free stuff, you know what I mean? All right, there you go. Mount, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff as well. That's all pretty good. This is pretty expensive in and of itself, so GG, Ilanya. There you go. If you want to enter a giveaway, I'm running out of stuff, by the way, but I still have some pretty good stuff. Don't worry. I've still got some of the packs I bought way at the beginning of Season 8. Those are all worth a lot. They're really good for people to get into the game. And I'm sure there's some crap in this bank somewhere. Yeah, there's definitely some items. Like, I can see it right here. Hearthstones, different things I can give away in that regard. We still have some mounts to give away. Swift Zevra, that's actually super badass too. So okay, yeah, we've still got stuff to give away. But if you want to win something, leave your in-game name in the comment section below, and you might be chosen in the next Ascension video. Well, okay guys, listen, growing light tank, I said I was gonna try it once a guy that watched the channel grouped up with me, showed it to me on a video, and we were like, damn, that's good. And hey, bro, it was good. Thank you for the idea. Also, once again, guys, I want to thank the members of my channel. I really appreciate you guys. Some of y'all have actually been there since like 2+ years ago, which is unbelievable to me. But thank all of you. You're helping to make this real. This was super fun. I think the Mog was pretty sick as well. And I really enjoyed making this video, to be honest with you guys. If you enjoyed it too, make sure to give it a like and to subscribe. Once again, consider becoming a member on the channel. It's only $1.99. And by the way, we have merch store stuff now. A bunch of meme stuff that you can get your hands on. It's actually pretty sick, and quite a bit of you have already started doing it, so I guess it's even better than I thought. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Mcdoubles out.